Welcome back to Country Conversations. My name is Joey, and as always, I'm joined by...
Hey man, it's Chris over here. What's going on tonight, Joey?
Hey, not much, man. Just been busy gearing up for Christmas. It's right around the corner, man. What about yourself?
That's right, man. It's coming on fast. Christmas, New Year's, year end for music, everything.
Everything. It seems like this year just like flew by. It might just be because 2020 was so slow.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, these last 2 years seem like I don't know, you can't even wrap your mind around what's going on these last couple years. It almost feels like 2019 was just yesterday and we can just try to forget these last 2 years.
Oh, man, you're not kidding. I was looking at some of my memories on social media from 2019. I was like, man, that just seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah,
it seems like yesterday, but like a lifetime ago. Like a different world, which it was, in a sense. But
yeah,
man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
but yeah,
sure,
playing...
2022 is going to be a good year. I got a good feeling for next year.
Absolutely, man. You guys getting ready for the holiday and everything?
Oh yeah, I think we're ready. I think we jumped on everything early, so we're pretty much ready to go. I might go out and get a few more surprises for some people, but I think I'm pretty much ready.
That's awesome. I think I've got 2 more gifts to get, and those are just like little things for like family members that I've already purchased other things for. So I'm pretty good, man. We jumped on it kind of early this year too, like back in October, just to kind of get things over with. But yeah, it's been a lot of stuff going on, man. It's been a few weeks rather since we've recorded last, so there's been some things going on.
There has been. There's been some stuff going on in Nashville. Usually this is kind of a slow period for music, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and definitely something big for one of our big guys here on the podcast, Brandon Davis, right?
Yeah, man. If you guys remember back to last December, we had our first interview, actually. It was with Brandon Davis, and it was just announced that Tim McGraw was going on tour next year, and Brandon's going to be one of the openers for Tim McGraw.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing for Brandon, and obviously for us, and just, I mean, it's just crazy. It's just
man.
Really crazy.
So happy for him, man. He's taken off, man, and we figured that was going to happen sooner than later, so good for him, man.
So far, that tour is not coming very close to either one of us, but we're hoping some dates get added, and if it's anywhere close to us, we'll be there to cheer Brandon on for sure. We love McGraw too.
Oh, definitely, man. I think the closest they're coming to me is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Cleveland, maybe.
Are they coming to Cleveland? I know they're coming to Charlotte, which is about 3.5, 4 hours from me.
Yeah, it might be Charlotte that I'm thinking of. I don't. Now that I think about it, I don't know if there is an Ohio date.
Yeah.
I remember checking one city and it was like 4.5 hours away, and I was like, man. I'm sure Riverbend in Cincinnati will probably get a date. I'm sure McGraw's played there quite a few times, so fingers crossed.
He's McGraw's busy filming the prequel to Yellowstone right now. I think it debuts Sunday. I was just reading that earlier. Him and Faith together are the stars of that. That'll be pretty cool. That'll probably be pretty cool for him. Yeah. Did you hear the kind of stripped down acoustic version of Cowboy and Me that he recorded for Yellowstone?
No, I didn't actually. I'll have to check.
It's a good one. That's one of my favorite McGraw songs of all time anyway. So it's
same, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good version.
He's got a pretty extensive acting career now, McGraw.
Yeah, he really does. It's
the crazy father in Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Man, yeah, really he's been in quite a few, but yeah. So congrats to Brandon and the other folks that were asked to open for McGraw. I'm sure that's a dream come true for most of those folks. Any aspiring country artist would probably love that honor. So, Brandon, Absolutely. If you hear this, my man, congratulations. We're rooting you on, brother. But Randy Travis made an appearance at the Opry recently. You want to talk a little bit about that?
He did. I mean, this was the 35th anniversary of him becoming an Opry member, and he was on stage Saturday night, and they just showered him with praise and with tributes and songs, and I mean, it was a big night. And every time that you see Randy, he has got the biggest smile on his face, and yeah. I mean, for what he has been through, he has fought harder than almost anyone to still be here and still be enjoying music, and the country music kind of just whole universe has kind of just wrapped their arms around him these last couple of years, and he's finally getting the credit that he always did get, but that he always deserved more of, and he's definitely getting that now. Yeah, John Party, Carly Pierce, Don Schlitz, who wrote a bunch of Randy's songs, all paid tribute to him Saturday night at the Opry.
Yeah, I was watching some of the live stream. I caught it kind of toward the end when Party was singing 1982.
Yeah,
That was
that's
kind of when
good.
I turned it on and didn't really get to catch the rest of it just yet. But what I saw was awesome.
Party.
He's wild.
He's a wild man, man. I love him.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love him.
He was fun when we saw him back in, was that February? Back at Acoustic Jam?
Oh man, that was probably our next episode. It will be our year end, and when we talk about our favorite moments of the year, that's gonna be up there because he was a good time, man.
That was like a social distance, low capacity concert, but you wouldn't have known it with the way he was running the crowd and everything, man.
Absolutely, man.
And then there's a documentary about Randy coming out soon. We don't know when. I think it's next year, right?
Yeah, I was just reading about it yesterday and a little bit more today. I guess Sean Silva, who is one of the big music video directors in Nashville, had been filming Randy and doing interviews with Randy before the stroke, and then got to film some stuff as he was going through the recovery, and then he's done a bunch of interviews with people close to him, and they announced yesterday that they were going to finally release all of that as a documentary. They haven't announced when it's going to debut, sometime in 2022, but it'll be interesting to see. I think you and I both have read Randy's autobiography, so we know most of the story, but I'm sure that there'll still be some stuff come out in the documentary that we don't know. So I'm super excited for that.
That's a good book too, man. I actually just recently finished it up. It was awesome.
It's a good one, wasn't it?
Definitely a good read, yeah. He just, Drew Parker just did a cut with Randy on There's a New Kid in Town.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool, man. For Drew. Yeah. Speaking of Drew, I just saw him, I don't think we've recorded since I saw him.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
Yeah, it was the beginning of December. He came up to Brick Street in Oxford, Ohio. It's like a small college bar where I saw Connor Smith not too long ago, saw Luke Combs there a few years ago. It's such a little like hidden gem if you're a country fan. There's a lot of college kids there, and like I felt like an old man, but dude,
you were the star of the show that night, though.
$10 to go see these folks play, and as long as you're there 30 minutes early, you're going to be like right on the stage, man. Like, because most of those kids are like getting beers, drinking, doing their thing, pre-gaming, and no one's down there in the pit really until the action's about to start. So I've had the opportunity to see quite a few decent, actually really good shows there for super cheap and not having to wait in an 8-hour line like if you go see Luke Now or Eric Church. So
yeah, I just wonder how many people it holds. Do you know?
I don't know, man. Off the top of my head, I don't think it's very big. I could probably look it up really quick.
I mean, do you think it holds 1,000 people? 500?
It would be close to 1,000, I bet.
Yeah,
close to it, I would imagine. Just going off the top of my head here.
Drew puts on a pretty rowdy show. I'm sure that in a bar setting like that was a good time.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. I can't even find like a capacity online anywhere. I would say no more than probably 1,000. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, he put on a heck of a show, man. And it was funny because I've seen him play there back in 2019. And my wife and I, we've met Drew a few times just because we've probably seen him, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. And a couple of those times he was opening for Luke. A couple times he was opening for other folks like Aaron Lewis and doing like solo shows. And when he came out this past time, I put my hand up to give him like a fist bump, you know? And he fist bumped me. And then he went to turn around, then he double took twice, and he recognized me and like pointed and laughed real big, you know? And I was like, man, that's wild that he even remembers who I am. But gave me like a set list or whatever too. That was pretty sweet. And wrote a little note. It was like, thanks for always coming, and signed it. So that was really nice of Drew.
That's cool, man. He's a hustler, man.
Dude.
I'd hate to know how many shows he did in 2021. I mean, he was everywhere.
He's been grinding it out.
Yeah, he's grinding it out, man.
I mean, he was doing some
open for Luke, open for Jameson, doing his own shows, like.
For sure. If you guys aren't hip to Drew Parker yet, you gotta check him out. He's super country. So I'm a huge fan of Drew. Awesome writer.
Sure, man. I'm ready for some new music from him.
Most definitely, man. I'm ready for it. I'm surprised he hasn't really done much more since the EP.
Well, I know he just signed the single is climbing radio, so I think they're pushing it hard, and I'm sure that they're hoping they can get it up into the top 10, top 15 range, and then bring some new music on people.
Yeah, you're right. What's up with the charts, man? You got any year-end projections, or are we gonna save that for our next episode?
Well, we'll save it for next episode, but I was a little surprised that the #1 song at radio this year was Famous Friends by Chris Young and Kane Brown. It was a big hit, but I would not have expected it to be the number one song at radio. I don't know. For some reason, it just surprised me. I mean, it's a jam, and it's upbeat, and it's a good song. I mean, it's a comeback song for Chris for sure.
Definitely. Well, we'll save the other year-end charts for the next episode, but
that's right, man.
Yeah, if you guys didn't notice by the title, today we're going to be talking about Jameson Rodgers' latest project. It is a pretty good project. It is a pretty big fan of it. It's an album titled Bet You're From a Small Town. Came out this year. I've been listening to it a little bit. I haven't really dove through the whole thing over and over and over and over, but I've listened to it a few times through.
Yeah.
And there are a couple tracks that I've, really enjoyed. But before we really get into that, I just want to kind of walk through his career so far. Jameson, he moved to Nashville back in 2010. So that's, about 11 years ago. And then in
10-year town.
Yeah, 10-year town. That's right, man. And then in 2014, he signed a publishing deal with Combustion Music. Fast forward a couple years later, he released his first EP. And then in 2018, he released another EP, which had the hit song Some Girls. And that song was featured on Sirius's The Highway, and it's got over 80 million streams. Jameson's co-wrote for quite a few folks in Nashville, too. He wrote on Florida Georgia Line's Talk You Out of It, which was a top 10 single. Chris Lane's number one, I Don't Know About You. Camouflage Hat by Jason Aldean on his album that came out in 2019, 9. And then he also wrote on the title track for Luke Bryan's album that came out last year, Born Here, Live Here, Die Here.
I did not know that last one. And that's a song that you and I both loved. I did not know that Jameson
I had no idea.
Yeah, no idea. I knew the other ones, but I did not know about that.
Yeah, so he's co-wrote on some really big hits. He had Some Girls kind of take off. In 2019, he was the opener on Luke Combs' Beer Never Broke My Heart tour and played in more than 60 arenas in the U.S. and Canada, which we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But in 2020, he actually won the Music Row Discovery Artist of the Year award. And then in 19, he also signed a recording deal with Riverhouse artist Columbia Nashville. And
he's been busy.
Yeah, super busy, especially like 2018 till recent. But in 2020, he had his first charting song on the Billboard chart, which was the debut hit Some Girls. It reached number 1 on the country airplay chart and number 29 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Big hit for him.
Yeah, big hit for him. So, speaking of the 2019 tour with Luke Combs, I was at the show in Columbus in February of 19. And I'm pretty sure Jameson was opening for that show, and Lanco, and then Luke.
Yeah.
So there was like a big bootlegger, which if you're not familiar, the bootleggers are Luke Combs fan club members. That's what he calls them, the bootleggers. So there was like a big bootleggers meetup at this like restaurant, tavern type place, pretty close to the arena. It was up at Ohio State. And we went to it, and it was my wife, me, a couple close friends, and a couple other friends. We went and just met all these people. We were drinking beer, eating pizza, talking, and then next thing we know, we're like, dude, we gotta go. Like, the show's about to start. So, like, so many of us were late because we were having such a good time just talking and getting to know everybody at the restaurant. And I actually came out when J-Mo was done with his set, and Lanco was, like, in their, like, first or second song from what the folks next to us told us. So, I actually missed Jameson, and haven't seen him live yet. So I'm kind of disappointed that I haven't got to see him yet because I've had quite a few opportunities to do so. He was just in Ohio a few days ago. He was at Bogart's down in Cincinnati with Drew Parker, and
that's another one of your favorite venues.
Yeah, that's another good small like hidden gem. Yeah. If you're ever in Ohio, Bogart's definitely a good place to see like up and coming artists, but. Man, I didn't get to go because the tickets were like stupid cheap, like $15, I think. But I was sick. I've been sick the past week with like a hardcore sinus infection, man. And I've been feeling better the last couple of days, but man, so I didn't want to go, because I was sick and had to miss out on seeing Jameson again.
I would say that when he opened for Luke in 2019, I probably didn't know who he was. To be honest, I did not know him or know his music before that tour started. We got really lucky. The tour, like the second or third date of the tour in 2019 was in Huntington, which is about 40 minutes from us. Mm-hmm. And so I know I saw him there, and then we saw the tour in Charlottesville a couple months later. I might have seen him one other time, and then this summer he was at the Country Fest with Luke. So I know I've seen him 3 or 4 times, and I mean, he puts on a solid show. I mean, it's not a cowboy kind of show like, Drew or Cody, but he's just great songwriter. And his music definitely, it's grown on me a lot. At first, I'll be honest, I just kind of thought, just another generic dude from Nashville putting out the same kind of stuff. And but his music has definitely grown on me. This album has grown on me. We'll talk about it. But his affiliation with Luke and Columbia and Drew, I mean, he's definitely right in the middle of that group of guys that are really doing good things in Nashville right now.
For sure, man. And I think I can agree with you on that because I kind of felt the same way when I first heard his music. I'm like, kind of like stereotypical Nashville music, you know what I mean? It's not great, it's not bad, it's just what you expect out of an artist out of Nashville. Like,
yeah,
just very radio friendly, very like you said, kind of just generic. But when this project came out and I listened to it, I'm like, there's some really good music down in this project. I mean, it definitely has come to grow on me as well. So definitely excited to see him whenever I get the chance. I've seen a lot of videos on like TikTok and Facebook of him doing live shows and stuff, and definitely looks like an entertaining, fun show. So I'm really excited to get the chance to go see him.
Yeah, from what I've seen, he has not announced what his plans are for next year. So I wonder if he's gonna be an opener for somebody, if he's gonna do some of his own stuff, or what he's gonna do. I mean, he could fit right in with just about any kind of artist coming out of Nashville. He could, he'd be a great middle act because now he's got 2 huge hits, and he's got some other stuff that he plays that people know. So I mean, he's fast rising for sure.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I'll be anxious to see who else announces tours for next year.
Yeah, because Luke Bryan has not announced, and
Aldean hasn't either.
Is announced next year or not. Yeah,
but Aldean will, especially with the new album. Well, half the double album's out, and then the other half's coming out in like April or something like that.
Oh man, we didn't really talk about Aldean's new album coming out. I was thinking about that today.
We'll have to do a review on that one soon.
We'll do a super review when the other half comes out in April.
Yeah, the full project.
We'll just do a full project review. And Aldean is one of those guys that, like, I'm like, oh gosh, this is the same kind of stuff. Oh gosh. And then I listen to it 3 or 4 times and I'm like, man, this is great.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man.
He always gets me somehow.
There's some good ones on there, man, actually.
Oh, there are. And the new song that just came out is really good.
Yeah, Whiskey Me Away.
Yeah, it's
off
so
the
good.
other part of the project that comes out next year. Yeah, it was really good. The one that, not to get like too off tangent and go full Aldean right now, but the one that really stuck out to me was the Morgan co-write.
Yeah.
I forget who else wrote on it, but it was the Sad Songs.
Yep.
That one's
great.
That one really stuck out to me. That was a really good song. I really liked that one a lot.
I think Morgan co-wrote Whiskey Me Away too.
I think he did. Yeah, I think he was on both of them. But anyway, back to J-Mo here.
That's right.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'll be anxious to see if he announces a tour, like doing smaller venues, kind of like he did this year, or if he's going to be opening up for somebody. Because, I mean, like you said, man, I could see him really fitting in with a lot of these headliners right now, just being like a nice middle act. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that he'll obviously do some smaller shows of his own, kind of like what he's been doing, but probably the best way to reach country music fans is to be that middle act on a big tour. I mean, so he's been the opening act for Luke, but he hasn't been that kind of middle act right before the headliner. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the next step usually. So I would think that that's what he'll do next summer, but we'll see.
I'm with you, man. What's up, man? What's your thoughts on this album overall compared to the other new stuff that's came out this year?
Oh, I think that it's definitely in my top 5 albums of the year. There's some really good stuff on this album. Not only did he release this album, he released an EP earlier in the year that had other songs on it. It's got stuff that's not even on this record. So I think he put out like 18 or 19 songs this year. He's cranking stuff out. His voice reminds me so much of Cole Swindell. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if it really is that similar to Cole's, or if I've just got that stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? I mean, does it remind you of Cole's voice?
Oh, for sure. I don't know. They've got kind of the same look. Like, they don't look alike, but they've got like the same kind of image, same kind of build. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same kind of sound, same kind of music. So it's like very, 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 very similar. Enough differentiation in their voices to know obviously who's who, but I definitely think they're very similar. Which isn't wrong with that. I like Cole. Cole's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we like Cole. But usually whenever I absolutely love somebody, they are super unique, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm really liking Jameson's music. I love this album, but I still need something about him or about his music that sets him totally apart. And, I mean, you know, I'm sure that'll come. I mean, he's a great writer. I'm sure that he's going to keep having hits. And, you know, I mean, I think obviously the duet with Luke was the label's way of obviously trying to get him more attention and just kind of have something that set him apart a little bit. Because that's, I mean, you know, Luke's had other people on songs with him, but that's the first song sent to radio that he had done a duet with. So, yeah, Luke's a big fan of Jameson.
Absolutely. So with this album, we just ranked our top 3. And for those of you that have been here before, you know how it goes. For those of you that are new, what Chris and I will do whenever we're reviewing an album is rank our top 3 songs off the project. We'll start at 3 and go up to 1. Sometimes we'll rank a top 5. Sometimes we'll do top 10. It just kind of depends on how we're feeling. For this project, we decided to go with the top 3. I'll kick it off, man. At number 3, I had Bars Back Home.
Oof. I love that one. Why'd you pick that one?
We talked about that one the other night. I don't know, man. It just gives you that small town vibe. Reminds me of my hometown and the bars that we've got. Just kind of how nothing's like back home, you know?
Yeah.
It's got that total vibe to it, and it just is a really good song, man.
It's a good one. I like it. I like that one a lot.
For sure, man. What do you have at number 3?
Number 3, I had Good Dogs.
Ooh, that one's really good.
It is. It's sentimental, and, you know, as some listeners probably know, we lost one of our dogs about a month and a half ago, and so I've been listening to it a lot. It's a good one. Slow, sentimental, the kind of country music that you and I both like. So it's a good one.
That is why it was number 2 for me. I figured we'd have some similar ones on this album, but yeah, I haven't lost a dog recently, but I have in the past, and that's just a heart-wrenching feeling because dogs are family, and you know, this song just really resonates with anybody, and I don't know, man, I really liked it. Like you said, it's very sentimental, slow, just a really good country song.
Absolutely, man.
What about you, my man? What'd you have at number 2?
Number 2, I've got what you had at number 3. We're flip-flopping here. Number 2, I've got Bars Back Home.
Nice.
I mean, it's kind of it's a generic song. I mean, it's a song that has been sung 100 times.
For sure.
But for whatever reason, he pulls it off, and it's believable, and it's got a good groove to it, and it just makes you, you know, it just makes you want to go. Like you said, just you can have a beer in New York City, but it's not going to taste as good as it does just when you're with your buddies back home.
The ice cold bottles back home, man. There's nothing like
That's
it.
right,
I'm
man.
telling you. And like you said, that story has been told 1,000 times in country music, I feel like, but he just sold it, man. It was good.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah, number 1, man. This is a quick ranking. We're just doing a quick episode this week, guys. So
what do you got at number 1? Man?
Number 1, man. I've got Merle Haggard.
Ooh, that's man.
It's a good one. Very slow, very good. Basically talking about the girl in the song is someone that Merle Haggard would have wrote songs about, and it's the one that has stuck out to me since I first listened through the album the whole way, and it's one that I've continued to go back to over and over again. So I really love that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, man. So what do you have at number 1?
Number 1, I've got an old song that he included and actually just got sent to radio as the 3rd single, Missing One.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was probably after I saw him open for Luke and I went back and listened to some of his stuff. That was the one that was kind of like, maybe this guy's not quite as Nashville generic as I thought. And so it's kind of a risk for him to go back to an old song that most of his fans know as the next radio single, and it's a slow one. I mean, there's a lot of just like 90s kind of slow country on this record. Like it's not loud or overproduced.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good record, and Missing One is a great song. I had that at number 1.
Nice, man. I didn't really put down any honorable mentions this week, but if I did, that would have made it. And then Cold Beer Call My Name, just because it's a jam with Luke.
Yeah, that's right.
That one. Even the title track, "Bet You're From a Small Town," probably would have made my honorable mentions too. It's not bad. It's a good song too.
I had that one and Merle Haggard as my honorable mentions.
Nice. Yeah, Merle Haggard.
Yeah, neither one of us said "Some Girls," and that's by far his biggest hit.
And if it comes on, I wouldn't turn it, but like, I don't really catch myself going back to that one at all.
Yeah, me either.
But it's a hit. I mean, it was definitely a hit for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our top 3 guys. So if you're on our social media, comment and let us know what you think.
That's right.
But man, if you had to rank this project out of 10, what would you give it?
I would probably give it a solid 7.5. 7.5, 8. Somewhere in there. I mean, it's a good project. It's long. I mean, it's definitely something that he's able to go out and do full shows with this, because it's a long record. But it's all really good. But I wouldn't say that a lot of it is great. But I mean, 7.5 or 8 for a debut record is. I mean, that's really solid.
It's a solid rank.
What about you, man?
Man, this one for me, I'm just gonna go out and say a 6.75.
Oh, there we go.
So I don't think it's one that I'm gonna revisit time and time again. Like, it's not gonna be like a classic album that I go back to throughout the rest of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for being a debut album, it was really good. The production was good. The lyrics were good. The vocals were good. I think it's going to be a great project for Jameson overall. Like you said, it's one he can do full shows with. It was a pretty big project. I'm trying to look up, and I can't remember off the top of my head how many songs were on this project. 15. So there were 15 songs on here. And, it's good. I think 6.75 is a fair rank for this one.
Yeah, I can see that. I think probably we've gotten so used to just people putting out 5-6 song EPs that for him to come out with a 15-song album after he had already came out with an EP earlier in the year, that's impressive.
Working, man. He's cranking them out.
Absolutely, man.
But yeah, man. So I think that's gonna do it. We ranked the album. We talked about our top 3. We caught up a little bit on what's going on out of Music City here lately.
That's right, man.
Yeah, so if we don't catch you guys before Christmas, we hope you have a Merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, we hope you have a happy holiday. And we appreciate you guys tuning in so much. Definitely go check us out. We're all over social media. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. Just search Country Convos and you'll find us. And I think that's going to do it, man. You got anything else?
Just like you said, happy holidays, and we'll catch you on the year-end episode. Probably will be the next one we do.
That's right. We'll see you then. Until next time, guys, keep it country and take care of each other.